Hi everyone, welcome back to another BTD5 gameplay. I wanted to do this quick video because I found it interesting, this kind of debate. Isab, in his very last video, he proved a guy in the comments wrong because this guy wrote that the Moab Domination upgrade is better than the Dark Champion upgrade. And Isab went into a sandbox and actually showed the total amount of pops and proved that actually the Moab Domination is worse than the Dark Champion. But in my opinion, I think Isab made two major mistakes. First of all, he had the Monkey Knowledge on. Monkey Knowledge, there are two upgrades, two buffs for either the Boomerang and the Super Monkey. So the Boomerang has this one. So the Mob Crash pushes back 30% further. And the Super Monkey actually has more lifespan. And as well the knockback that is harder. So there are two buffs for the Super Monkey, 204 in this case. And one buff for the Alchemist, for the Boomerang, sorry. So I wanted to take this out to do a good comparison. You should take this out. And the second mistake that I think Isab did is the fact that he didn't take into consideration the cost difference. Now the efficiency of whatever upgrade is always related to its cost. So why are some very good and efficient upgrades never used? Because they cost too much, right? In the second part of Isab video, I'm gonna just put the link in the description below. He's one of the most famous YouTubers about BTD gameplays. In the second part of Isab video, he actually compared a 501 wizard with a 401 wizards with an alchemist, because of the fact that if you see here the sell price, so the total cost for this tower, and you sum the total cost of these 401 wizards, so it's 9.7, right? Per 3 is 28.1, 29.1. So you still have some cash left, and then he added an alchemist. So in this case, a 400 alchemist, or maybe it was like 402. If you sum this with this 4 towers, the cost is the same. And so he compared these two. So which one is better? And I'm perfectly fine with that. And I totally agree, because that is how comparisons should be made. But the thing that is weird is that when he compared the Boomerang with the Dark Champion, he didn't take into consideration the cost. And just by getting here the upgrades as he did, the difference in cost is huge. This sells for 60.4k, this sells for 48.5k. So that's 12k in the sell price cost. That means that I've calculated it earlier. This means that the difference in actual cost is 28.9k cash. So to get this upgrade, you're spending 29.9k cash more than to get this upgrade. And so of course that the 204 Super Monkey is better than a 025 Super Boomerang. In my opinion, it's obvious. Just the Super Monkey is a better tower overall. And I had no doubt that he could beat the Boomerang. But if you take into consideration now the cost, things change. Look at this now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place here Super Monkey, just like he did. The map is different, but for the purposes of the video, it's gonna be exactly the same. Round 94. And let's go. So I'm gonna see now in this map with this setup how many pops this Super Monkey can do. Remember, I have no monkey knowledge, so either the Super Monkey and the Boomerang have no further buffs other than the ones from that they get by default. So let's see the total pops of this super monkey. Okay, here just the zoom I got left. Okay, he can pop every mob to ceramic, but then he can't finish off the ceramics. So total pops, you can see here, 160k. So a 204 super monkey can pop this amount of bloons. Okay, so remember this number. Now if I want to compare the 204 super monkey with a 025 boomerang, and I want to do things correctly, I must take into consideration the cost difference. So now to make things right, I need to actually place more towers to match the cost. And exactly like he did for the Archmage and Arcane Spike comparison, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add here an Alchemist, right? 402 Alchemist. So if I now sum the soul price, 4.5 plus 4.5 is 53k. I still have 7.5k more on a soul price, so that I can match the two costs. So I can take another support tower that can buff my boomerangs, like a 300 village. So that's another 3k. Let's round to 3k in terms of soul price, and I still have more cash. So what is left to do is just add more boomerangs. And I'm gonna just take here boomerangs, just leveling up the last upgrade. So I'm not even thinking about like getting other path upgrades. So 2.9 and 2.9. So with, if you count all of this, 2.9, 2.9, 4.5, this should be around the same cost for 204 super monkey. Okay, so this is roughly the same cost. And now once I have all of this, now I press play in round 94 and I compare the pops, and only now I can really compare the two towers. Of course, it's not anymore like a direct comparison because of the fact that this tower is cheaper than the super monkey, but nonetheless you must take into consideration the cost. So let's see now the total pops. The Alchemist as well is doing some damage, but I cannot take that out, unfortunately. Okay, that's it. So all the boomerangs as well could reduce the mobs to ceramics, but then the super ceramics sneak through. So I have here a calculator, and I'm gonna add now. So to compare the two pops, the total pops, I need to sum the pops of each of the towers. So let's start with the main 025 boomerang, 130.7. Okay, plus this is gonna be 1.3. Oh, one zero more. This is 18.3 almost. So I'm gonna sum 18.3 plus, and the last one is 50. Yeah, let's write down 15.9. Okay, and that's it. So look at this. You see this number right here? You remember the number from the super monkey? So just by taking the cost into consideration, you can now clearly see that there isn't a huge difference between a 204 super monkey and a 025 boomerang, because the cash that you spend more to get the super monkey 204, you actually can spend it to get a village, to get an alchemist, and to get other 004 boomerangs. And see the total pops. So this total amount that I took into summing all of this, that are the pops from each singular tower, is actually slightly more than the cost that the total pops from the Super Monkey. Super Monkey could pop 160.2k. Altogether, they could pop 116.2. So 166.2. Okay, so that's 6k roughly more pops. So you can see now that there isn't a difference. If you compare and if you take into consideration the cost, now the towers, the upgrades are almost identical. And yeah, that was the interesting thing that I found out about this debate. And so yeah, hopefully you guys could learn something, and I hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye bye.